How's it going, YouTube family? Today I'm going to meet Benny, who is someone that has collected a lot of old objects from Asturias and also from outside Asturias for years. Meeting him was fascinating, and I can't wait to introduce him to you because he's going to explain some pieces to us that, for me, I was amazed because I didn't recognize most of those things. But I think you guys, honestly, when we're there, it's going to bring back some amazing memories from your childhood. And I hope I can surprise you and show you something you didn't even know about. What I have behind me is an old mill. And I wanted to start the video here because his wife lived and grew up here in this old mill that is, well, you can see what condition it's in now, which is completely buried by vegetation. I couldn't even get close since it's in such bad shape. And I know that halfway there was a bit of a river, and I'm afraid of stepping wrong and falling. But well, there's not much to see anyway. It's completely in ruins. So anyway, I'm gonna go see Benny and let him tell us everything he's been collecting, and especially how he got into this hobby where he's collected, well, I couldn't even count the number of pieces he has there, so yeah. This is going to be a slightly different video. I hope you like it. I'll leave my social media links around here for anyone who wants to follow and support me and stay a bit more up to date with the content I upload to YouTube. Now let's get to it. Well guys, I'm already in Laren. I just arrived at Benny's house. He has a rural village house. He has some little houses here that he rents out. Right now they're occupied, so he won't be able to show them to you. But anyway, for anyone who wants to visit, just know that they have these awesome rural houses. You can stay here in the middle of nature and spend a weekend or a week, whatever you want, surrounded by nature and traditional things like the horios and, well, a typical Asturian village. I parked around here, and I think he's inside, so let's see if we can talk to him now because I'm really excited for you to see everything he has in here. It's awesome. Look, he has chickens here. Well, if you come to stay here at the rural house, I'm telling you, you're going to have a variety of things to see, not just animals, but also the crazy stuff he has inside. How are you, Benny?
Hello.
I'm finally here. How are you?
Good, good.
Are you organizing things around here?
I'm trying to fix this weight that's a bit worn out, neglected.
Neglected, huh? I brought these people because I told them about you and mentioned filming a video of everything here. I was amazed the first time I saw how much you had. I never expected it. Then I thought, wow, look at all the things he has. I'm going to give you a quick look at everything he has here. And we'll start going through the most interesting ones one by one, but as you can see, well, over there he even has things that haven't been catalogued yet.
I'm going to turn on the lights.
All right, perfect. I'll show you around meanwhile. See, he has traditional ceramics and more. Well, I'm seeing a lot of objects that we'll ask him about later because I've seen them in some abandoned houses. And surely he can tell us a lot more about all of this. Benny,
Tell me.
how did you get started collecting or gathering all these old things? How did that hobby come about? How did it start?
Well, I've always liked all these pieces, handcrafted and functional, old ones, you know. They always caught my attention. I'm the son of a carpenter, so in my father's workshop there were always leftovers from things he fixed, furniture and such, and I like to rummage around there. Well, they always caught my attention. And well, how did I start to get in things like these? Well, it was almost a bit by chance, you know, in front of the trade fair where I used to work. They set up the flea market there for a while for reasons of space at the place where it used to be before.
The flea market, for people who aren't from here, is a traditional market we have. Well, there are markets like this in many parts of the world.
Yes.
But here it's also traditional. It's where, well, people gather a lot of old things.
That the flea market.
And sells them secondhand.
In this case, the one in Gijón, well, pretty much like all of them. It has the food section, clothing, all those kinds of things you find in markets. And it also includes, well, all sorts of different items, which is what gives it the name rastro, right? Normally we think of a rastro as a place that sells old things, junk of all kinds, right? And Gijón is one of the most striking in that regard. Well, it happened there, since I visit the flea market because it's right in front of my office, and well, I see things like, damn, look, an iron just like my mother's and stuff. The classic iron you put on top of clothes.
Yeah, I see a bunch over there. You have a beautiful collection there.
And I ask, and well, I buy 2 irons from that woman over there because they reminded me of the irons my mother had. And well, that's how it starts. I keep going and I see things like soldering irons, for example. It's something I also knew as a kid. In the fish factories in Larina, a town, the cans and all that were made in the factory itself. And they were made by craftsmen who made the cans with tin and with the famous tin workers of copper. I see someone and I ask, and he says to me, damn, make me 5 duros. Okay, I buy a soldering iron, then another day.
Is that the thing over there? Because a lot of people won't even know what it is, right?
Yes, these are soldering irons. Very interesting. It's copper like the one I used at work. See, traces of solder remain. It's a piece that the craftsman himself usually made, adapted a bit to his needs.
I mean, it was used for soldering and making cans like all these you have here, right? Tin work for canned goods, yes.
Yes. Everything that was soldered with tin, the cans, well, it was done by hand. This one, for instance, has a curious shape. Why? Because he must have worked with something delicate that needed it. There are some that are huge, for example, that are so heavy it seems impossible that they could work with this, considering how much it weighs. As I said, each made it to suit their needs. Most were handmade by the individuals themselves. My father, for example, used it. He made them himself when needed. Well, those kinds of things that appear, that you recognize when you're walking, seeing all that mess of things of all kinds there are, and you see something funny, look just like that, and you start picking things up, and well, little by little you get into it. Traditional ceramics, well, we organize a fair of traditional ceramics. A colleague was already very fond of it. He was a commercial director. We used to go to the Zamora Fair for artisans, for traditional ceramics.
Yes, like everything we're seeing here.
And from there we started doing fairs that are still held even after more than 20 years. They're still happening in September in Gijón. And that's where traditional ceramics appear. Something I didn't know about. And little by little you start seeing...
You also got into ceramics, huh?
Things that stand out, catch your attention most, right?
Yeah, because...
I have more than 300 pieces here. All of them are traditional ceramics.
I'm seeing some unique ones we can discuss if you'd like. This one stands out to me because it looks very old, right?
Yes, that one is probably the oldest one I have here, as far as I know. I mean, there are pieces whose age I don't really know. This one is from Gundibos in Lugo. This is a jug that was used for wine. Almost all this type of pottery in that area is used for wine. Its uniqueness is the interior is coated with pitch.
Do they put pitch inside?
Yes, instead of using enamel, they do it with pitch. And this is the jug that is taken from the cellar, filled, and then poured into the smaller jugs to be used at the table.
Like this one, right?
That's right.
What are they, twins or just similar in design?
No, they have the same design. They're called debigots because of this one.
Go on.
And it has the same design. Well, the difference between this one and this one could be 200 years.
Wow.
This one was made by a potter who has already passed away, Alonso, who was here in Asturias, in Avilés, for many years. But when he retired, he returned to his hometown, to Gundibos, to continue with his traditional craft that he had. And well, he died working with this.
Doing what he liked the most.
Yes, making the fish they use here.
Right?
Well, it fell on top of him with...
Oh, he had an accident.
As a result of that, he died, yes.
Wow, man.
And well, yes, this is a piece very curious. It still keeps this characteristic that they call a mustache. And this one can have at least 240, 250 years.
Crazy, right? I also saw another one that really caught my attention. It was repaired. I saw it the first time I was here. I don't know where you have it right now. It was like a little jug. Look, it's here, it's this jug. This jug really caught my attention because I noticed it has a repair here, right?
Yes, this one is from the Basque Country. It's a white ceramic characteristic of the Basque Country. Very rare. Very rare.
And is it rare because of the type of material or because of something else?
No, because the everyday pottery disappears. When the household activities evolve, in quotes, what was this used for? It's replaced by a pitcher.
Yes, a bit more modern, of course.
For example, the famous aluminum pitcher that every house would have
Yes, I find a lot of them in abandoned houses. Yes, yes.
in the 60s or
Yes, yes.
50 or 60. This was, well, you would throw the jug, this one. That was already worn out, a little broken and so on. And in places like the Basque Country, it disappears. All that arrives there first, then in Cuenca, so to speak. And they disappear first. And then the collectors also appear, like Arguiñano, who took everything he found in the Basque Country of traditional ceramics.
So he collects everything himself, right?
Yes. So very rare, very expensive.
The detail of the repair really catches my attention because this is ceramic and this is metal, right?
Yes, it's metal. This is a work of art. I mean, I bought it precisely because of this, because of the repair. That breaks, as you can see, it breaks and it gets repaired. Nothing gets thrown away, nothing gets thrown away, everything gets repaired. It's a miracle. The rivets don't go through.
Amazing. Some rivets didn't go all the way through.
No, they can't pierce through.
Because it would burst, right?
Of course, no, because it would leak from there.
The repairer of these things was an artist.
Absolutely. These people were fully dedicated.
Impressive.
House by house, repairing pots and pans, for example, with wire staples.
This is an old washing machine, could it be?
No, not a washing machine.
What was this?
This is for whitening clothes.
Oh, for whitening clothes. I thought there was a washing machine that used ash.
That's where you put the white clothes. This one's not white because it's been with the ash too long. I need to change it. Well, you put it in here. After washing the white clothes, you put them in here and cover them with a filter, which is usually sacks.
Used sacks, right?
Yes, sacks.
Of raffia, normal ones.
The sacks that used to be around, that everyone in the village had sacks at home from the products that came in sacks, right? And this acts as a filter because then you add wood ash and then you boil water.
You pour it, I imagine, on top, right?
You pour it, you filter it, you collect it, you heat it up again, and you pour it again as many times as you need. You don't throw the water away, you recover it because that water is lye. It's then used to clean the house.
The water that came out there was used for cleaning.
Yes.
Everything could be reused multiple times.
Everything. These wooden tables that were in the kitchens, so white from scrubbing them with bleach so much, with these, well, this isn't that far away. My mother-in-law, for example, who has already passed away, but she had to do the laundry.
We're back to the same thing. It's fixed. It's impressive because it's so large and made of ceramic. Creating something like this must be difficult since the ceramic's weight could make it fall apart during the process.
This piece, which is a jewel in itself, despite how big it is, has very thin walls. It's very well made. This can't be made on a potter's wheel because the wheel, when spinning, throws off the clay.
Of course, it weighs a lot.
It's made by hand. And you keep adding streams of clay. And you go up, and you make it yourself very carefully.
Impressive, huh?
You get some very thin walls that will be about 3 millimeters in some places, even less. When repairing that, look at the staple. How thick the wire is, you have to insert the staple. The staple doesn't go through here. Look, run your hand through here.
Yes, it hasn't gone through here.
Completely smooth.
And he managed to repair a part and put it back into use.
Yeah, but look at that break, huh? It breaks. You keep everything until the tinsmith comes, give him the piece to fix, and that's it. There it is, working. Now you can fill them with water without any leaks.
Impressive. What I like about the people from Antigua is that they didn't throw anything away, they recycled everything.
Everything.
And nowadays it's like, if it doesn't work, well, I'll just buy another one.
It seems like we invented recycling just now.
Yes, that too. That too.
But no.
I was also looking at the clogs here, which really impressed me the last time I came, because even though I've seen quite a few all over Asturias, you have some here that are very, very well crafted. I mean, they caught my attention.
Well, this one is a real gem, and besides, this one has apart from the carving, which is the work of a wood carver. Let's say it's not just an ordinary clog maker, it's a wood carver. Look at it, it's
You have to realize this is basically a Sunday shoe, right?
a Sunday shoe, and then it has this kind of protection for the studs, which is a piece of wood, which is made by the owner himself, the owner of the madreña, with a knife starting from a stick making heels. This is with a part fits in the clog, and when it wears out you throw it away.
They're replaceable and you can put in another one. Incredible. From here they started making them out of rubber, right? I think so.
First they were made of wood, and then they started making them out of rubber.
They were also made of steel nails.
Also.
And it also depends a bit on the area, right? It depends. When the tires arrive, the tire already appears as waste from which these heels are made.
Yes, it was used probably to make what's in this one, right?
It already is.
That it already has.
This guy, all of this is made of tire.
Yes, see? It already has rubber. For those watching who haven't seen me before, these are madreñas, traditional shoes from Asturias. You'd put your slipper inside and go.
There are madreñas for daily use. So here is this repaired madreña. This is a repair. The wood ends up splitting.
Look, yes, it's repaired.
It's repaired. This is a wire.
Wow, look, huh?
And we would last another 4 or 5 years with the clogs, because this clog is already shaped to the user's foot, and you don't throw it away really, not until it's repaired 1,000 times.
Where did you get this one that's been repaired like this?
Well, these were mine, you know.
Oh, they were yours. Okay, because I was thinking, wow.
They were mine, but now I can't wear them due to bunions. Only clogs work for me.
It's not going well, huh?
It doesn't work.
But you have so many designs. Check out this one. I'm not sure if you can see it well on camera, but the work is amazing.
This one, they actually recreated a shoe. They made and carved a shoe.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I think they can. Let me check so it doesn't shine too much. Look.
It's a beauty. These are Sunday clogs, even for going to church.
I mean, these weren't for going to the cattle or the garden, they were for going to church.
They went to church from the village. My mother-in-law told me all this, right? My mother-in-law attends church in Luanco and is from Santolaya. She goes, of course, walking, wearing clogs, but with everyday clogs. And she keeps the other ones tucked away here. And when they get close to Luanco, to the center, there's a house there, so-and-so's house, they're friends. There she leaves so-and-so's clogs, and
then she would put on her Sunday shoes, right?
then she goes to mass in clean clogs.
Those are the prettiest clogs I've ever seen, honestly. I've been to a museum about clogs, but I think this is unique.
He put the initial of
It even has the initial here. I'm not sure if you can see.
there,
What a relic. You've got a real treasure there with that clog.
an F and a G. Well, her name was Felisa, for example, and her last name was Gonzalez, like mine. Well then, there are countless examples of this. This is just a tiny sample of the same as with the traditional tools used to make madrinas.
These are the... look, I'd only seen them in the museum before.
There are many pieces, but not all, you know? For example, no, because this isn't anymore. Look, for example, I was telling you the other day about which pieces are the ones you value the most or the ones you like the most.
Yes, I asked you because...
I think the most humble, the simplest pieces, and that are functional, are the ones that touch me the most, you know? Like this, for example. This is a piece, you know? Some very worn out sticks, very much so, and all that. And this was for the spelt. Remove the grain. I mean, you do it like this, and you remove the grain.
Do you always recognize the objects? Remember them from childhood? Or how do you know what they are?
No, some of them, some yes, from my surroundings. But for example, not this. They tell me this when I run into them. The person who sells them to me, well, I must have paid about 15 pesetas or something like that for them, right? But they tell me that for this. This is called, how is it? Look, I don't remember the word. It's a word that means to undo. It's for that. It's for grabbing. You do it like this.
How curious.
And you remove the grain to the plant.
I'd never seen it before. If I had, I'd have thought it was for drumming. Just imagine.
Come on, I'm telling you, these are pieces that the user makes themselves. They make the piece, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Other pieces that could be functional, but that's not enough for them. They also enjoy themselves and make pieces like this. It's a jewel.
I think this is for the cattle's head, but it's very well crafted and elaborate.
Yeah, look at this, the owner's F. I guess it's the owner's first and last name engraved. And let's go.
Impressive. It's one of the most labor-intensive I've seen, since the basic ones are just wood.
This works with a key.
Look, it does have a lock.
Yes, yes, of course, of course. You have to use a key for this to open it.
But how old could this be?
I don't know. I have some others like this, but maybe the best preserved one was this one. That's why I have it here.
It even had a lock on it, which I only got to see. I mean, I saw them, but without the key.
I mean, it's normal. It's just like a little piece of wood to close it, that's all.
For the key to open it.
Impressive. I had also noticed around here that you have a bunch of gadgets that, when I asked you the first time, I don't know if you know, for example, what this thing here is. If anyone has seen this before, I'll give you a few seconds before he reveals it so you can look and guess what it might be.
Personally, I had no idea what it was. But what was it? Benny, what was it? This really surprised me.
Well, what it still is.
Yeah, what is it? Of course, what is it?
This is a foot warmer. The embers go in here. The embers are placed like this.
And they would put their feet here to warm up.
Sitting there at your table, doing your work, and your feet nice and warm here.
That's amazing, man.
It's a foot warmer. This one is very nice. It's very well made of brass anyway. Walnut. It's from a wealthy person, let's say.
Yeah, I guess not everyone would have that, right?
No, more basic and simpler ones, but that's the idea, to have something with embers that last a while and keep your feet warm, because you're standing still in one place and your feet get cold, right?
Another thing that stood out to me, which I asked you about earlier, is this piece here. Let's also give people watching a few seconds to see if they can figure out what this is here.
I'll put it here to give them more clues.
Let's give them a hint to see if they can figure out what it is. Let's see if any of you get it right. What do you think this could be for? Benny, can you tell us about this treasure? It really is something special, isn't it?
Yes, it's a treasure. This is a field coffee maker from World War One.
It's a coffee maker from World War One.
Yes, a field one.
Impressive.
It has a very fine filter here, very fine, very fine.
Yes, you can notice it, but it's barely visible. Let's see if you can see it now.
No, it's just that it's very fine.
Yes, here you can see the great homolometry it has.
Then the coffee is deposited down there. The water is heated. The water is boiled. It's poured. It's strained. The lid is put on. And with the opening, the coffee servings are given out.
The coffee to all the soldiers?
To whom it may concern.
Impressive, really. And then the First World War, huh? That really left me.
Come on, this piece is years old and still in great condition, right?
It's perfect. It's French.
It's French, huh?
Yes.
I already told you I had a place.
We used to cook in a pot.
Yeah, well, yes, of course. I imagine in every place.
It was more sophisticated, right? Well, it must have been for the officers to have their coffee, huh?
I imagine.
The troops would have to do it in a pot.
But that jewel you have there is really impressive, honestly, huh?
Yes, it's very beautiful. I liked it a lot. That's why I took it. I bought it.
If we keep looking around, there are many little things. Some already explained to me, but there are peculiarities like this one, and I was honestly speechless when you told me its purpose. Some of you might know just by looking, but Benny, what was this for?
To keep warm as well.
To keep warm as well, huh? Yes.
You fill it with hot water, you hang it.
Around here, I imagine.
I'm missing the strap because this is to hang around your neck and place it on an area, either here or on your lower back, wherever you need to apply heat for a while.
Impressive.
It cools down, you refill it with water. And speaking of heating, this is also a very curious piece.
This right here?
Very curious. I think it's the most curious one.
I honestly couldn't tell you what this is. Benny, I hadn't even seen this the first time I was here. I don't know what it is. Not sure if any of you know.
Well, this is also a piece to warm up, but for your hands. Especially for people like a pianist, a musician who has to perform. They need to warm up those hands because nowadays everywhere has heating. They have those kinds of things. But back then it was different. They didn't. So they needed to warm up their hands a bit. This has a filter here, and it's very interesting because it also had embers inside. Yeah. You put the embers in here, as you can see.
Yes, you can see it perfectly, yes.
And it's like a sealed grate. That's where the embers go. The embers don't touch the outer surface. They stay there in the center, floating.
It gives off heat.
This lid already creates a distance, so the embers don't touch you, so you don't get burned. If you touch here, you could get burned, right? That stays floating in the center. But it gives off heat. You close it here for a while. Heat it up, put your hands there. Mine, which are very big, I would need 2 pianists who have big hands.
Very impressive, Benny.
And both of them can fit there in the hand.
Oh my, if I see them at the market...
I found it like that, kind of, well, no idea what it was for. Right, when I saw the drawer, then, yes, I didn't know anymore. That's it, it's here, now I can see it. Well, it goes there.
It has something written on it, yes.
It says Post, but it doesn't say...
Yes.
It must be a brand.
It's pretty hard to read.
And, well, the guy who sold it to me told me the Tiguario.
Look, there's another thing, Benny, which we also went through is here, and I think it's going to bring back memories for a lot of people. And it's this thing right here. I'm going to put it here so you can explain it well. And some of you, I think it will sound familiar because, well, there were cartoons that had it. You probably already know what this is. It's for transporting honey, right?
Yes.
It's what the village honey seller used to carry.
Village honey still has the walls.
Yes, there's honey from who knows what time period.
Yes, you also touch it, and it's the texture of honey, right?
Impressive.
And they would go through the villages with 2 or 3, as many as they could carry, right?
You went through this, right? You had to experience it.
Yes, it happened there in Larina, my village. Well, our village had just over 1,000 residents. And the arrival of the honey makers was an event for the kids.
Like the ice cream man right now.
They were drooling and all that. They went around shouting through the town. It was from Alcaraya usually, honey from Alcaraya. And when they heard it, oh my, all the kids went wild. Running to their moms to buy honey, right? They would bring this, take it out. Your mother would come with a container and they'd remove the device. They filled it with honey for her, and that was...
Remember those days? Wish I could go back and see them.
Yeah.
You've lived it, but I haven't.
These came in by train, and they brought several. They left them in a place, and they would go with 1 or 2, because of course this is heavy, and when it's full of honey it's even heavier. They would come back to restock when they sold everything. Then they would go back to Alcaria again they'd look for the next one, coming a few times a year or so. The same as the potters from Salvatierra, from Badajoz, who would come selling their clay pots on a mule. And they would come here, but they went all over Europe. There were people who were the potters who made the pots, and there were people who were the ones who sold them. They loaded up those mules and they traveled all over Europe selling pots and shouting the same thing. The pots. In all the old houses and here in this granary, I found a water jug. I think I have it in a house. A water jug from Salvatierra, which are characteristic because they also have a different, unique decoration. I have some from Salvatierra. For example, this one is from there. And this has a decoration, which they make when the clay is still soft before it's fired using a river stone. The women, especially the older women, sitting down and so on, decorate it, they wet it with saliva, and with the stone they make this kind of...
Oh my goodness.
No one does this kind of drawing anymore.
Yeah, I had never heard of it before. Just like this, which is really catching my attention, because they're like...
They're Chinese, they're river stones.
How did they place them so they wouldn't go through to the other side?
With a lot of care and skill.
Wow, I'm really impressed.
With their finger, they wet it. Their hands are full, wet with clay, on the wheel, once the piece is finished, before it dries, while it's still fresh.
But the wall is very thin, isn't it?
Yes, very thin. Just a touch, go too far, and your finger goes right through.
And you ruined the piece.
Yes, of course.
Wow.
So they're going at an incredible speed. They make the drawing with a kind of scalpel. They make the drawing, whatever it is, and then they
One by one, huh? Impressive.
It already takes them 5 minutes to decorate this one. The speed is incredible, huh? And without glasses. The one I knew who did this was already quite old, and I was amazed just watching. And especially when he broke one of those gadgets for me. They broke a lot of them. You see inside the pushing thing, you get boom, boom inside. You see the whole fingerprint, right?
Jeez.
But you have to do them.
What a skill, yeah, honestly, what a skill.
This is also from Salvatierra and his old... The same decoration. Well, nobody does this kind of decoration anymore.
There's no one who does it anymore, huh?
No, well, like I said, it was the older people who used to do it. They'd sit there and all, and they'd be by the door of the house wetting the stone. And, well, there are even more spectacular decorations, right? And they give it a shine, and they make this design. Now they do it with a kind of stiletto. They make something like an engraving there. It's not funny.
Something here is catching my eye. What is this, Benny?
This... You had to do many crosswords before to know what this was.
Yeah? Does it have a name?
Yeah, it showed up in all the crosswords.
I'm not sure what it is, but its shininess caught my eye.
Not now, not anymore. This word always came up. He said a 3-letter word. It started with T. And damn, what could it be? And so on. Tas.
Tas?
Tas. It's a silversmith's or tinsmith's anvil.
So this is what the tinsmiths used to fix exactly what we're seeing here.
No, that's done on the go. No, that's done.
Okay.
No, this is in the workshop. The jeweler and so on, he works. Well, he has his workshop. He has this. There are some screws and so on. And when he needs something, he uses the anvil. This is an anvil, let's say. It's called a taz.
Okay.
They call it taz because...
But it's really interesting. Look, I've never seen the shape of this kind of anvil before, but I imagine it makes a lot of sense for shaping things round, for making a lot of different shapes.
Yeah, working on delicate, tiny things on the table. I don't know, sitting down and working there with the...
Right. It's not the one they took to the villages to work?
No, the people who did this traveled with their tools that they made themselves to make those holes they drill in the ceramics. It doesn't go through to the other side. It was simply a nail that they prepared to the size they needed. And let's say the drill, there was no machine, it was manual, it was like that kind of violin that you move, and it turns one way and then the other, but they made it themselves.
I'm seeing so many things, Benny. I want to ask you about more things. I don't know if you all are enjoying everything we're seeing, but...
Here there's a piece that's very interesting.
Look, it's crazy everything it has.
You come from a port city, right?
Yeah, this sounds to me like the typical parasites that, well, crabs and all those have, right? Could it be?
That's right, yes.
But how do they manage to do it here? Or is it recovered from a shipwreck?
No, yes, it's recovered. This one is... Well, this is used. It's called... I think it's called a carazo. Let me check. I have a paper here since its name is hard to remember. Cadufo.
You have it written there.
Yes.
Just so you know, huh? Cadufo.
This is for catching octopuses. You place this on the ground, this mark. This is what stays in the sand. This is what sticks in the sand. It stays like this.
And does the octopus go in there?
Yes. Octopuses go into holes like those where...
And they just had to lift it?
And then they have it. Of course, they have it with a rope and all. They have, as you can see, quite a big hole here. You pull quickly so you don't give the octopus time to react with the pressure of the water coming out through there.
Impressive.
It prevents it from coming out. And it's like, yeah.
What ingenuity, huh? The first one who made.
It's very usable, but there are places where they use other types of containers, not ceramic ones like these, right?
No, I bet they're fragile too.
Yes, but well, it's a tool just like a sickle. This is easier in a place where traditional ceramics were very common. It was the cheapest. And the most effective, really, and easy to handle. This is heavy here now, yes, because they weigh quite a bit, but in the water they don't weigh anything. And they throw fast and pull out the...
Benny, and this piece I'm seeing here? What is this? A giant plunger or... Look at this piece that really caught my attention. What is this? I don't know what this is, Benny. Tell me. I'm surprised by what it is. Surprise me.
This is very technological for our culture. I didn't know about this either. The first washing machine I had at home was a Jata, and it was small. It would spin like this.
Is this a washing machine?
This is for washing.
Is this for washing?
Yes. You put this in a bucket with water, add the clothes, add as much detergent as you think is needed, and then you start doing this. If we had time, we would try it now.
Oh, right. Okay. So, it would kind of suck and move the water, of course.
It does that, but it's impressive.
Impressive. But how were these people already so ingenious?
It was impressive.
How old could this be?
20 minutes. You do biceps, and you do the laundry.
Oh my god, I never imagined it was that.
He doesn't have an electric bill like those.
But how old could a piece like this be?
I don't know, but this has been out of use for many years.
Honestly, I wouldn't recognize it if I saw it.
It took me a while to find one, then I saw several more.
Well, because you saw it the first time and you said to yourself, okay, now I know how to identify it.
My first thought is it's something to unclog.
Yeah, that's how I felt at first. It's just a feeling.
It looks like that for unclogging? No, you have no idea. The first thing I did was buy this in Gijón. My wife was going shopping. She was the one who said, "What's that?" I have no idea. Kid, who was English, by the way, he asked me what it's for. He then says, "It's mine for 35 euros. Let's go."
Come on, you took it without thinking.
I got here, grabbed a big bucket from over there, and filled it with water.
And tried it out.
I poured in a bit of detergent to see, and boom, boom, it was impressive.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm going to enjoy it.
Another piece that's catching my attention. Look, Benny, I think I've seen this somewhere before, but I don't remember because I've been trying to remember since I saw it, and I think it's some kind of press, but I don't remember what it was for. I've seen this abandoned many times, you know?
Yeah, every respectable house had one of these devices.
And what was it for?
Maybe your grandfather or grandmother had a device like this in the kitchen.
Yeah, I've seen it left in kitchens and didn't know what it was.
To eat well, in quotes. The little ones. This was to make meat juice.
Wow, I've already heard that it tasted really bad. Yes, I've heard this from a lot of older people.
You'd put the pieces of meat in there, put this on and press down, and there you go, drink the meat juice.
And why was that? Why did they say...
They used to say that was awesome, as well as the famous liver oil.
Liver that tasted really bad, yes.
Yeah, you would run away, because honestly it was terrifying.
Well, I've seen a lot of these, you know?
Yeah, there are a lot. They're presses. I found those. I saw many and so on. I had never used one until then because I don't remember us having this at home. And someone told me about it, and wow, from then on, well, I got myself a few. Yeah, because there are a lot of those.
Just look, right? It's really impressive, Benny, everything you have. Look, he has old washboards. He also has a stand over here that I think we really have to show this stand, Benny. Look.
Well, these are things that are around here.
But several things have really caught my attention, not just one. This has really caught my attention a lot that
It's for mending socks.
I imagine you put the sock in and you fix it, right? With the...
And stockings, let's say.
I pretty much knew what this was for.
For being from the chickens, it's too big.
No.
Yes, because I knew about the chickens to give to the chickens.
But from this material?
Yes, made of marble or whatever, yes. And well, there were some really sophisticated ones, but mostly they were the size of a chicken, of an egg. This isn't a chicken egg.
Very big?
Yes, and yes, you would put the sock here, then it would stay in place, and you could darn whatever part of the sock was worn out, because nothing was ever thrown away.
There are many more things that are catching my attention. These scissors, what are they for? Because I have never seen this in my life. Look at their shape. Wait, let me show it so it can be seen clearly on camera.
It's you because of your age. From here to that door, there could be 3 things you've seen.
Few?
And that's considering you have an activity.
Yes, I notice them and often learn from the comments, but when I first came here and you explain things I don't know what it is.
If you see something, take a picture and we'll check it out.
Perfect, I'll do it.
This is... you know that in churches there are a lot of candles lit. The wick, which is the little piece of string that burns in the candle. As the wax melts, it gets twisted and falls on top of the candle and smokes and gets dirty. This is to remove those wicks that are already burned. They are removed so they stay in place and don't fall.
Damn, man.
That's what it's for.
What ingenuity? So this could be a religious tool, right?
Yes, to use, yes, because that kind of candle was mainly used in churches. So, for example, there were some with considerable diameters, right? But, well, when they were 4 or 5 centimeters in diameter, that thing would fall here, fall on top, ruin whatever it is, and smoke. And with this, you have to keep an eye on it. When it gets too long, you remove it. But of course, you can't cut it with regular scissors because it falls on you.
Of course. Yes, it makes perfect sense.
Now you grab it and it stays there, it stays trapped there. There's no need to cut much because actually that's already burned. Simply...
What ingenuity, man.
Another thing I noticed is this melted looking cup. Does it have a purpose, or did you buy it just because it stood out?
Because it looks like a shot glass.
Yeah, well, this belonged to a friend of mine who really liked shots. And I said, look, I'm going to cut your glass so you drink less because damn.
Look, it's just that, look at the shape. It's so peculiar. It caught my attention because of that. I mean, so you bought it because...
What shape does it have?
Like an eye.
That's what it's for. You fill it with chamomile.
Is that for washing the eye?
And you open and close your eye.
Oh my goodness.
Open and close your eye, then rinse with chamomile.
They used to wash their eyes that way, not with a cloth?
No, because the cloth doesn't get inside your eye. Washing an eye is difficult. Even if you put yourself under the faucet, you try to...
Yeah, you try to close it, yeah.
And you close it by yourself, right? This way you have the chamomile here, you take it, you settle down, but not a single drop falls in, right? You do it like this and open and close your eye.
I see it in a house.
You open and then the chamomile bathes your whole eye.
If I see this in a house, I assume it's defective glass.
Yeah, defective.
Oh my god, I'm learning so much, huh?
Dude, the cup and all that. It's a gem.
I'll pay close attention now.
If you find any, please.
Yes, I promise I'll pay a lot of attention.
I found one by chance and I never found another one again, and I regret it because I use it a lot, you know?
Of course, this is useful.
Yeah, anything gets in my eye since I'm always doing things, and if something jumps into your eye, the first thing is to go to the... And then I take some chamomile.
Impressive, Benny, impressive.
No conjunctivitis can resist chamomile, it's the best. And then there's...
What's this? Oh, I'll throw it at you. What's this?
Yeah, this is a lot of technology, this, huh? This damn, what's it called? They're called butterflies, that's what they're called. They were called butterflies.
Benny, what you know is impressive.
In every place where they'll call it, this one is, let's say, factory made, right? My father used to make them a cork. He would cut the cork, cut the tin sheet, and put the good stuff on it. This is for lighting. You put this to float in a glass. You fill it with water. You put a layer of oil on top, about 1 centimeter of oil. You put it there and you light this.
And it remains clear and safe because it's in a...
And it's being fueled by the oil that's left, you know, that the oil on top doesn't mix.
And it's safe because it has water around it.
That's it. And there it stays until, well, there comes a moment when maybe the wick burns out. You have to throw it away and put in another one. This is more like going to buy it at the hardware store, right? Because you used to do that at home. You could do it, look here, look, with a brand and everything, huh?
Oh my goodness.
You could do it another way. Little lamps, St. John Bosco, then you would make it. Look, here you have more basics. This mark is my father's. You throw it there, it's floating, it has a small cork, it stays floating in the oil, and by capillarity the oil rises and burns, and that's it. That's the light.
The light bulb from another era?
Yes, the one you had at home and in the kitchen. There was no electric light in most of the...
We would need hours for Benny to explain everything that's around here to us.
Another invention? Look, here it shows you the lady. Look at the lady who fixes it like this. To repair the holes that appeared in the pots. The pots before were coated with an enamel, and every time you hit them, the enamel would chip off and it would quickly rust there because it was a thin sheet, and there would be a hole, so you would cover that hole with this type of rivet. Very simple. This one already had a nut and everything. You would tighten it. Here it also has a kind of rubber or cork, and that would solve the problem.
My goodness, people were so ingenious back in the day, man.
This is another light, a more dangerous lamp, because this one works with gasoline and all that. And it's the same thing.
This works with gasoline.
Yes, this uses a wick. This one doesn't have the wick here, huh? I have some. It's just that all of this, I lost it. This wick isn't from here, huh? But anyway, it uses a wick here. And this is like a spark plug. This goes in the bottle, sealing it. It was inside the gasoline. Or kerosene or something.
It was dangerous, right?
And you light it here, it's a flame. There you have light for...
I had never seen it before.
for a while.
But I'm learning a lot because now I'm going to pay a lot of attention, you know? To details I see in abandoned houses. Look at that cut. This is a razor blade, right? Oh my goodness.
Yes, my father used to use this.
What material are you made of?
That's why I say just shave me already. It's just that this one unscrewed here. This goes, it had, because it doesn't have a tight thread, but it comes off. This is made of brass. And it has
Oh my, it's made of brass, huh?
the blade, yes, but I have the keys more. It's just that this one is broken. Well, I have to check.
No worries, the material just caught my eye because I can really see here.
No, it's just that it's open. It's open because it's loose.
Yes, yes, yes.
There's an interesting one here that's the same. This is very curious. I haven't seen this system before, right? Does this one have the blade? No. Well, you see, the blade goes like this. You open it. You put in the blade. Ah, well, yes, it already has one.
Show slowly how you did it, because you did it very fast and I think it wasn't seen clearly.
Well, you have this disassembled, right? You insert the blade there. I don't have a blade handy here. You insert the blade, then you put this on. And then this has this shaft. You put it here, you line up the shaft here. You see, man? Well, look.
Do you think it's looking good? Yeah, I think it's looking good.
Now you turn, right? And it's like a seesaw that tightens. Take this position and it stays tight.
Oh my God, man.
It's easy to change. It's quick. Look, it's amazing, huh? It's spotless.
How old could this part be, Benny?
I don't know.
Over 100, right? I've never seen one.
The blades, I'm telling you, were only thrown away when they broke.
It's this thing I've seen here. This device catches my attention because I think I've seen it in another house, and I think it was also for the blades, right? If I'm not mistaken, right?
It's for, to sharpen, to sharpen the blades. I'm telling you, nothing was thrown away when it came to blades. The blade was only thrown away when it broke. You didn't throw it away just because the edge was dull. You didn't throw it away. This was a machine to sharpen the blades. You have the blade right there. This is a strop. You know that the best invention for sharpening a knife, a blade, the edge of a blade, is leather. You'll see it has those little gadgets. I have one, but I'm not sure if it's nearby.
Yes, the straps from the sharpeners were made of leather, right? I've seen that the straps on the sharpeners are made of leather, right?
No, for sharpening, to put an edge on something that doesn't have one. No, for that you need a grinding wheel.
A grinding wheel, yes.
But to hone it so that once the edge is made, it works properly, you have to hone it, and that's done on leather. This is done, for example, here with these barber razors. The razors are honed there. They are moistened and worked until they have an incredible edge, right? This is what they used on you. They'd cut you here. It would give you the chills.
Impressive, Benny, really.
Well, the blade is... Where's the blade? Here, look, it has a blade right here. Don't you see how the blade works?
Yes, I see it there, yes.
This device makes it swing. It goes over the leather. And on the way back, it turns around and the other one goes through and so on.
It turns around, man. Look, do it slowly to see if they can see it clearly.
This edge went through, and the other will go through as it moves over there.
Look, yeah. Incredible. It turns around, man.
Well, it's a softer leather, and it's a bit thicker. There's one for roughing, and then you switch to the other one, and that's it.
Wow, Benny, I don't want to keep you any longer since we've already been here over 40 minutes and could easily go on.
We could be here for 3 days.
Yeah, we could be here for 3 days.
I think I'm going to leave it here and suggest something to you.
You better.
If you like this topic, because I imagine you usually go to the flea market, right? To look for little things, antiques and all that, right?
Yes, from time to time.
I have a suggestion. If people like it and comment, how about we visit the flea market one day with my friend Virgilio, who goes every Sunday and would really enjoy it?
Yes, I'd be delighted.
We look for antiques and show them the flea market.
Padrina's coming with us too.
Perfect, that way we get to meet her since I haven't been able to meet her today.
Look, this is another sharpener. He came from Bulgaria to sharpen blades, right? The thing is, it's missing one of these here. It fell off, and no, when I bought it, it had it. I don't know what happened to it, but this is going to close the blade here, and you pull through here,
Holy.
How does it work inside? When you pull, look.
Wow, look how it moves, kid.
Did you see?
How clever.
My father used to do it in a glass. On the inside of the glass, the crystal moistened. He would take the razor blade in his hand and run it like this along the glass. That's how my father used to sharpen the blades. Basically, he would set the edge so he could keep shaving. This blade, the grooved one, when the grooved one appeared, it's more fragile, it breaks more easily, but the previous one was more rigid, it only had 3 holes, and that one wouldn't break even if you tried to smash it.
I imagine people from that time using this and I'm amazed.
These are already fancy things for very wealthy people, because they're very sophisticated machines that didn't make it to us Bulgarians. These inventions didn't reach us. He had to use the glass. My father, since he was a carpenter, knew quite a lot about sharpening blades.
Well, family, first of all, I want to thank you, Benny, for teaching us so many things, because I'm sure you've all learned a lot. I've learned because I'll take this with me for future explorations, knowing everything there is, and I'm going to have to come back more times to learn much more from you.
You have to come, since I was bringing this Protador here this afternoon.
To help you?
And I couldn't.
Perfect.
Well, I'll help you.
So you can help me.
I really appreciate it, Benny. Remember to leave a comment if you like this kind of content too, because I can come back another day and we can show you something more specific, or we can just make a video about the flea market, going to the market and looking for antiques there, which could be really entertaining. That's it. I'll leave my social media links so you can follow and support me if you enjoy the content. See you in the next video.